Welcome back to Live and Learn, the morning gratitude show, coming to you in the afternoon. It's a special edition of Live and Learn, and just making a little video on my vacation. Usually you see me on the go on my phone, and here from our Boston studios, the hub of the multiverse, Boston, Massachusetts, United States of America, North America, planet Earth, third stone from the sun, in the Sol system, which is located in the outer spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy. Part of our local group of galaxies inside the Virgo cluster of galaxies, which is inside of a grander structure and tendril and strand of called the Laniakea supercluster of galaxies. It kind of resembles a nerve cell or a brain cell. It's wonderful if you can see the 3D rendering of it, which is nestled inside of the known universe, which could be part of an even grander structure called the multiverse of all possibilities. Live and learn. It's something that my mom used to tell me all the time. I'd roll my eyes. Oh, again. Live and learn, kid. Live and learn. But she was right. You live, you learn. You do. And I'm grateful for that. This is the Gratitude Show. And I start off my day with gratitude. This is a self-help show. This is a hack for self-help people. Let's call this episode 0. Why not? We're going forward, and you will usually see this content first thing in the morning and on my iPhone. So more of it's from the hip, it's from the heart. It's unfiltered, unscripted, unrehearsed, unedited. It's just, from me to you. There are many people out there that need to hear this. I am the same person. I got the same job, same bank account, same shoe size, same fate. But I'm different in something that really matters and counts. My entire life, I've struggled with depression and mood and anxiety and panic and anger. And only recently, in the past 5 years or more, have I been able to turn that corner and to do something about it. It's when I was introduced to the concept of the gratitude list. What is the gratitude list? I didn't have a model. I didn't have instructions. I did not have a pictogram such as you get with a Lego kit or an IKEA piece of furniture. No. I had to cobble something together using my brain and my heart and my spirit. I'm an ordained minister. I've been an ordained minister for about 27 years of independent spiritual bent. I grew up Irish Catholic, and I became an independent spiritual person. So all paths lead to the same place. They really do. And I don't think any one sect or religion owns the truth. They all are vessels for wisdom, and it's supposed to get you closer to that divine concept, and religion too is a very social construct, really. But live and learn. Live and learn. It is the name of the show. My mom passed away last year, and my life's been different, and so I dedicate the show to her, to Maureen O'Sullivan, my ma. Ain't that cute? That's Fenway Park. That's me and my mom. That's one of the best pictures of us we have. It's true. Live and learn. And I start off this gratitude list. This gratitude list helped me. I used to start it off on paper. It had to be on yellow legal pad, and it had to be blue medium ink, and I would just start off with the date and start writing gratitudes, and then the next day start off again, skip a line, and then fill up one side of the page, turn the page and fill up the other side of the page. And then I did that for a good long time, writing them down. And then one day, on a sideways bad day, that I have this idea to, hey, why don't you look at your old gratitude lists? I kept them all. And I decided, you know what? Look at your old gratitude lists. Maybe you might find something there to inspire you, to snap you out of this funk. Because I'm good at being moody. I'm good at being an asshole. I'm good at being a jerk. I'm good at being angry. It's like, And so I had this sideways moment, this bad day. I look at my old gratitude lists, and it had this amazing impact on me. I was able to literally count my blessings. I did. And I counted them. I said I had 14 things to be grateful for today. I had 12 yesterday. I had 11 the day before that. I had 16 on this day last week. And so on and so on. And having the ability to literally count the things that you are grateful for. And if you've heard the old cliche, the old wives' tale of count your blessings, simple, pithy, 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 simple, pithy wisdom and advices. Count your blessings. And you know what? That is true wisdom. And that had the ability and the power to snap me out of my sideways moment, my bad day, my funk, my bad mood. And it made me realize that I can count my blessings, and I have more to be grateful for than my negative self-talk is trying to talk me into. Your self-talk is there, and it's there for a reason. And sometimes when it's unleashed, untrained, random, just asserting itself, it can be negative. That negative self-talk. I got it, you got it, we all got it. It happens. But we have to curate and rein in and retrain and reformat our self-talk. And I was able to reformat my self-talk through that realization that I have more to be grateful for than my self-talk is trying to convince me that I am in a state right now. So it became like about a balance weight. And I was like, oh, wow, my blessings definitely outweigh my miseries, my obligations, and my frustrations. And that gave me perspective. And that was the first corner I turned, perspective. Through that perspective, it gave me a greater purpose. I could see a greater purpose. And through that purpose, I attained a measure of peace. I did. I am so grateful and blessed for that realization. And it's been the most revolutionary and meaningful piece of coping mechanism that I've got in my emotional toolbox. After a lifetime of different therapies, after a lifetime of being a spiritual seeker, I got this advice through someone who was an ex-convict and in alcohol and drug rehab and recovery. Gary Buechler of Nerdrotic. I got to meet him this past weekend at Dallas Fan Expo, and I got to tell him this. All of this that I tell you every day on all of these videos. There's a playlist. You can see all the old videos. You can see the style. You can see what you're getting yourself into. You can subscribe too if you need this kind of information. And I've touched a few people, not in a non-consensual way or a naughty way. No. I mean that in the, metaphorical way or the allegorical way. That I've gotten lots of comments from different people saying that your positivity, your message is resonating with me. And I'm just, wow, thank you. And you know what? Pay it forward. It's the best way to pay it back, is to pay it forward. So I'm paying it forward, and thank you, Gary Buechler. And I'm glad I got to finally meet you, and I'm glad I got to tell you this, that you've really made an impact on this human. And this human's paid it forward, and I will continue to do so. So this is my gratitude list. I start off my gratitude list. Now I do my gratitude list in a video format. I don't write them down anymore in a daily gratitude list. I do it as a daily meditation on YouTube, and I share that with the world. I start off this gratitude list with what I call the patented Sully Foundation method. Patent pending. And I don't repeat myself for content's sake. But it's to develop an emotional, spiritual, and psychological muscle memory. You're going to need some strength, in order to carry this and to carry it through and to see it through and to practice it every day and make it a part of your life. You're going to need to limber up. You're going to need to stretch. You're going to need to start off with some dumbbells at a low weight and just work your way up to a better state of fitness. What an allegory for this. So I started it off, I called it the Foundation 5. It grew to 6. It blossomed to 8. It eventually, reached 10. And now it's 11 things. So I don't call it the Foundation 10 anymore. I just call it the Foundation Method. So follow me on this journey, and hopefully you will see those results. Leave a comment in the comment section. Smash that like button. Share the video too. You can hit the share button if you think it's worthy. But if this is really helping you, then I would like to hear from you. So let me share with you my foundation, the patented Sully Foundation method. I am grateful for my family, for my friends, for my faith, for my freedom, for my health, for my union job, a good night's sleep, a solid breakfast, the peace that comes from being a single man my age, my sobriety in whatever form that takes today, with its wins and losses, its peaks and valleys. It really is a day-to-day thing. I haven't conquered it, but I'm on that road, And the last thing that I'm really grateful for, and I'm most grateful for, you can kind of file under freedom in a way, but I'm very grateful for the U.S. military, for veterans, for all those who have sacrificed themselves and paid the ultimate price for our freedom, our culture, our borders, our nation, our country, our way of life, the American way. Truth, justice, the American way. And the soldiers of the Western culture. I'm very grateful for all of those. That 11. There's room to grow. And then every day, and that's just how I start my day. I roll out of bed 3:37 a.m. every morning, every weekday morning. I already have 11 things to be grateful for. I'm already prepared for the sideways moments of the day. I'm already prepared to meet the stresses and frustrations with a little bit of less anger, less anxiety, less of a negative impact on those around me. I'm better to myself, I'm fairer to myself, I'm nicer to myself. Therefore, it allows me to be fairer and nicer and better to other people, especially those who frustrate us. It's true. It just follows. You are a lamp. You emit light. You just shine, and that's all you can do once you unlock this potential, which is already inside of you and of everyone around you. So I roll out of bed 3:37 a.m. every weekday morning, Monday through Friday. I'm at work by 6 a.m. I'm out by 3. A union job. I'm a professional chef. I work on my feet. I work hard. It's a stress-filled job. And I no longer bring work home with me. That's a really interesting thing. I just thought of that. I no longer bring work home with me in my head. I'm free of that. I've let it go. I didn't give up, but I've let it go in that Buddhist spiritual way. I've let go of my attachment to thinking about things. I leave work at work. I really do. And I'm not thinking about and ruminating about or entertaining imaginary conversations and arguments, especially with old lovers, with family members, with friends here and now, or days gone by with internet strangers, especially argumentative and anonymous internet strangers on social media. I freed myself. The gratitude list has enabled me to reformat my self-talk. Now, my mind is no longer a constant churn. I'm able to rest my mind. I really am. It's one of my gurus, Deepak Chopra. He asks an interesting question. He posits an idea. Are you your thoughts? Or are you the thinker behind the thoughts? Between your thoughts is a gap. And the essence and intention of meditation is to extend that gap between your thoughts. And between your thoughts sits the thinker, your real self. And once you're able to silence your mind and extend that gap between your thoughts, you are able to be your better, truer self. And from there, and there's an amazing amount of light there. There's an amazing amount of spirituality to tap in there. There's an amazing amount of potential for peace, for purpose, and through that perspective. And it all starts with here and in here. I am grateful for my family, my friends, my faith, my freedom, my health, my union job, a good night's sleep, a solid breakfast. The peace that comes from being a single man my age. My sobriety, in whatever form that takes today, with its peaks and valleys, its highs and lows, and its wins and its losses, especially the losses. And I'm also most grateful for my country and its military, and for those veterans, and especially those who paid the ultimate price. And that's how I start off my day. I have reformatted my heart drive. I have reformatted my self-talk. Now my self-talk no longer is a churn of all of these arguments and overthinking and ruminating about this, that, the other thing. No, now it asks me questions sometimes. The most important question is, how is this helping? Especially when I get angry. I still get angry. I'm a human being. I've been angry all my life. I was formatted in anger. It was my crucible. The first 4 years of my life, I shared a bedroom with my fighting parents. My dad was abusive. He physically abused, emotionally abused, and other abuses too. He smacked around my mother. I was a baby. I have eyes and ears. That was my entire childhood. It was anger, screaming, yelling, hitting, other things. And you know what? I'm so grateful and blessed I did not grow up to be an abusive husband or boyfriend. And that I found a way out of my alcoholism, and that I have a stable job. I've had the same stable job for 17 years in the same location. I have a stable home life. I just moved into my mother's condo. I inherited my mother's condo. She lived here for over 25 years, and at my last place, I lived there for 8 years. And the place before that, I lived there for over 4 years. And the place before that, I lived for 5 years. So it's like, I have a sense of stability. I do. I earned that, and I made that happen. And I'm very grateful for that. So once you start to count your blessings, once you start to, if you're starting this gratitude list for the first time, I'm going to suggest pen and paper, and just fill up the page. Just today's date, Monday. No, it's Tuesday, or it's Wednesday. This is going to release on Wednesday, June 4th, 2025. I am great, and then write down the things you're grateful for, and then the next day, and the next day, and then turn the page, and fill up the other side of the page, and then keep going. Who is that? Oh, this is my mom's handwriting. I am grateful and blessed. I am free of the mind's negative churn. It can creep up on you. I'm a human being. It happens. But I have the ability to push it back and to be like, no, I'm in charge. Not my wandering mind. I'm in charge. I drive the ship. The next salient thing that my self-talk says to me now is a great ism. It's a great pithy. Pithy. It's, you have to run your shit, or your shit will run you. You have to run your anger, or your anger will run you. You have to run your work list, or your work list will run you. You have to run your day, or your day will run you. And being a human, being a person, sometimes your stuff runs you. But yet there is a point where you make a conscious choice. So when I think of this, when I think of my gratitude lists, and I'm getting angry, and I'm getting frustrated, and I'm starting to have a negative impact on those around me, and I'm starting to let the things of my day, sometimes which are in the normal kind of parameters of a day, a typical day, if they're starting to get to me, I have the ability to have a neutral space where I can make a new choice. Now, I can continue to have a crappy day, but that would be a conscious choice. Or I can try something different. I can try a new approach. How is this helping? How is being angry helping this situation? How is lashing out, being frustrated, bashing, punching a wall? I'm guilty of that. Trust me. Or banging a pan. Yep, that's me. Or having, some kind of melty. What are you doing with that? You're just making yourself look bad. You're giving your enemies some ammunition to an example. Like, look, this person's like toxic. We live in a society now where, people are going to say that, like, oh, you're toxic, and it's easy to give them that leverage against you if you are behaving in a way that they can frame that. Or maybe you are. I know myself, with my anger and my frustration and my moodiness and my mood disorder. If I was diagnosed with a mood disorder in 2012. Yeah, therapy. Therapy can help. It's part of the overall thing. But I didn't learn about the gratitude list in therapy. I did not learn about the gratitude list in my spiritual seekings. I didn't learn it from Buddha. I didn't learn it in the Bhagavad Gita. I didn't learn it in the Bible. I didn't learn it in any of my spiritual seekings. I found this wisdom through the most unlikely source, a hobbit. No, he's actually a wizard. But yet, once again, thank you, Gary Buechler of Nerdrotic, for sharing with me that advice and wisdom. I am so glad I got to meet you last Saturday and got to tell you all of this. And thank you, and shake your hand and take a couple of pictures with you. He said to me the nicest thing. I walked up to him and I'm like, hi, Gary, I'm Eric O'Sullivan. And he looked at me and was like, yeah, I know. I watch you guys' show. That's a kind of a paraphrase, kind of a misquote, but that's what he said, kind of. And pretty much, I'm on a Saturday morning panel show, and we talk about comic books. I've been on this show, Wes is Thinking Critical, his comics aficionados, and this is my third year of being on the show. And earlier this year, he asked me to be a permanent panel member, and I earned that. And and it's great to have friends. We just all met up this past weekend in Dallas, Texas, for the Dallas Fan Expo. Wes, Aaron Sparrow, Dylan, Josh, Max, Nick Weiser, Perch. Thank you, Perch. Perch bought me a beer. Perch will always say in his videos, hey, I'll buy you a beer. He bought me more than one. He bought me quite a few. He got me tipsy. And he also, his generosity in his arranging the dinner on Saturday night for us all was great. H.H. Germain of Sigma Comics who, he's a great guy anyway and a supporter of the channel, but he's real indie comics, and he shared his table with us. We had a home base at the convention. We had such a great time all hanging out together. We made in real life friends. We were already friends in this non-delusional parasocial internet, and also to AL, our friend AL, who, she bought us cupcakes for the table for us to have a snack, and I was in cahoots with her. She, she sent me the money, and I made the arrangements and everything. And we got really good cupcakes too. They were really nice. They were $6 each, So I got like 18 of them, and I got them. It really worked. And with the leftovers, what was left over, I sent home with Perch and Wes. Between the two of them, they have 5 kids all in that house there in their B&B, And I was like, no, the kids need some cupcakes. I'm so blessed and grateful for that experience, for going to Fan Expo, for having the courage, with my panic and anxiety. I get panic attacks now. I've had since 2020. My best work friend, he dropped dead of a heart attack at work. And since then, I get crippling anxiety. I get real panic attacks. And I have panic pills to help that. And I also have breathing exercises. And I have this ability to have more positive thinking. Because if I had more negative thinking and more negative churn, I would have more anxiety. My anxiety, that would be the oxygen to feed the anxiety's fire. And I'm just so grateful for that wisdom, for that perspective. And it's attainable. I can do it. You can do it. I had a noisy mind for so long, but now I have a quieter mind and a clearer heart. It's wonderful. Join us. Make your own gratitude list. Your gratitude list will be different. And, and do some research. Do better research than I did. Look it up. Ask somebody. How do I do this better? What's the best way to do a gratitude list? I'm doing my best way. And mine is the patented Sully Foundation system. Patent pending. And that's how we start off my day, to develop this emotional, mental, and psychological muscle memory in order to carry this out. So now I'm at the point where I roll out of bed and I already have 11 things to be grateful for. And then I just keep adding to them all day long. And the weight and the amount of these blessings, of these gratitudes, will outweigh whatever is negative that's on your mind. They will. It will give you perspective. And through that perspective, you get purpose, you get peace, you find wisdom, and you make better choices. So there's that. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And this special edition of Live and Learn, the Morning Gratitude Show. Afternoon edition. And I'm on vacation. So we'll get a few of these going during the week. I'll be on Saturday on Wes's Thinking Critical. 10 a.m. U.S. Eastern. We talk about our hobby, comic books and pop culture. Also Sundays, usually at 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern. It's my show, my live stream, the Super Sully Sunday stream. I'm so blessed and grateful. I have a dedicated audience. It doesn't matter how many people are in it. It'll grow. If you build it, they will come. And I'm grateful and blessed. This weekend, we broke 1,600 subscribers. 1,600 subscribers here on YouTube. I'm blessed and grateful. And I want to share this wisdom with you and how to do it. You do it yourself. It comes from inside. It's a negotiation you make with yourself. It's a deal you make with yourself. You can stick to it or you can break it, but stick to it. And when you stick to it, when you have that sense of stickiness, that stick-to-itiveness, you get to this point after a while. You're a human. You're gonna have bad days. You're gonna be angry. You're gonna cry. You're gonna be frustrated. You're gonna be disappointed. That's just part of it. But you're gonna, if you think about it, and if you write them down at first, you're going to realize that you have more to be grateful for than you do to be sad for. Alrighty. Well, God bless. Namaste. Good luck. Thank you for tuning in. Please like and subscribe. Send out, tell the world. Come here. We've got a thing or two to tell you about how to deal better with yourself. Indeed. Okay. We will see you later with more videos. All right. Bye-bye.